Hello and welcome to Finextra. I'm Thea George and I'm here with Rob Hetherington of SAP and Steve Everett of Lloyds. We're at Sibos 2017 in Toronto and we're talking about digital transformation. Rob, Steve, thank you very much for joining me.
Thank you, Thea.
Okay. So I'm going to come to you first, Rob, if I may. As we all know, the industry is undergoing huge digital transformation right now. Can you talk to us a bit about the drivers for that and how you see it developing?
Yeah, I think there are a number of drivers here which seem to be coalescing at the same time. It all starts with customers. And it's a cliche to say that customers are getting more demanding, but they are, that's a fact. They are demanding ever improved connectivity. They are demanding that their needs are met instantaneously, if you like, in real time. And they're demanding that the banks actually understand their needs intimately and are able to deliver services on demand. So I think customers is the first main trend. Now, at the same time, what we've seen is, if you like, an evolution of technology, and the technology now really does enable digital transformation front to back. So it started, as always, with customers and customer engagement, but it has moved right across the business model of the bank. And I think the third thing I would call out is, I think barriers to entry in this industry are reducing. We're seeing new entrants coming in, new entrants not only in the startup space, but actually entrants stepping in from adjacent industries, from the technology industry, from some of the manufacturing industries, etc. So I think these are the trends which are coming together and causing wide-scale digital transformation.
Okay, so you mentioned the important role of developing technology there. If you had to call out some key technologies that you're seeing having a major impact, what would they be?
So I'd start with artificial intelligence, because I think that in a way that has the most short-term potential for many banks. So by artificial intelligence, I'm including things like robotics, machine learning, etc. And the benefits that I see banks gaining from these are greatly increased process efficiency, being able to eliminate a whole slew of manual activities, tasks, reconciliations, etc. I also see these technologies actually enabling better customer service. And this is, if you like, the benefit of machine learning, being able to understand customers' patterns in much greater detail, being able to predict the next set of propositions, solutions, etc., that a customer will find attractive. So this is, if you like, a big prize and a near-term prize for most, if not all, banks. The second thing I would point to is what we see in the open banking space. So I'm talking here about APIs and microservices. And I have a feeling this is one that Steve is going to reference, right? So what we see again is the banks understanding that they need to be prepared to both share customer data, that's regulatory driven in Europe through PSD2, but actually there are opportunities to collaborate with other banks, with third parties, etc. And in order to do that, you need to be able to pass information and data across seamlessly. So hence the importance of APIs and microservices. And the third is blockchain, or distributed ledger technology, right? Much spoken about for a number of years, much hyped without question. But what we now see is distributed ledger technology moving from, if you like, experimentation into industrial use. And we see it particularly in the area of international payments, trade finance, back office processing, post-trade processing, etc. And what we see is the emergence of consortiums of banks coming together and building solutions which can be used at scale. So I think this is evolving, and this is another important technology.
So Steve, turning to you, Rob's mentioned AI and machine learning, robotics, he's mentioned open APIs, he's mentioned blockchain. Of those technologies, which are interesting to you, which are you using, what would you highlight there?
So open banking would be number one. There is a regulatory requirement from January next year, and as a minimum we need to meet that mandatory compliance. So that's a must-have. Everything else is then a discretionary option. And of course we want to do all of those. There is only so much investment money. And you can't step away from Rob's original comments about the client need. Clients have very, very widespread needs. People think it's just about a bank account and a payment. They want financing, they want asset financing, invoice financing, trade financing, they need card solutions, they need immediate payment solutions, they need high value payment solutions. And to manage all of those, you need good core platforms first, and good core platforms that then present themselves through one digital channel. And you need to then understand the needs of the client. An SME will have completely different needs about how they interact with their bank to a major global corporate that may be operating in many, many markets. So the first thing is to try and get all of those services into one digital proposition, which is no easy journey, because historically people have developed platforms, they've put a digital front end on, and then they've sold a trade solution. Actually, to bring those together so you can really start to look at the data as it goes across the ecosystem, and stop looking at businesses and needs in terms of, I'm an insurance company, or I'm a water company, or I'm an electricity company. Actually, what's the ecosystem underneath, and how do they work? So yes, we will be looking to embrace all of those changes. I would suggest blockchain is still the end journey. I think there's a lot more we can do around AI, and actually start to think about how you just adopt that within our own operational processes. How can we therefore improve the client experience? Banks need to manage tightly on their cost budgets, but also need to be able to give seamless and frictionless services to our clients. So it is a long journey. We've been at this for certainly 3 or 4 years, and I would expect in actually London, in Sibos in London in 2 years' time, we will still be talking about a number of those things as we go through that investment plan.
So as you look at the journey that you've outlined, exciting but not easy, can you do this alone? Can banks do this alone? How do you see the role of partnerships and alliances developing going forward?
So the simple answer is no, we cannot do this alone. And that's why we work with people like Rob. If I want to have the best accounting platform, or the best payment platform, or the best trade finance platform, there's no point a technology function within a bank building that. We go to the experts and we partner with those experts, and that's why as we look across the whole of our business, we've been working with the very largest technology firms for many, many years to develop those solutions. And it becomes a partnership, and Rob and I talk about, when we look to embrace APIs, where could we look to go, and how could we join up across different industries and different sectors. So this is very much a partnership. It's a partnership with banks as well. Lloyds is a very UK-focused organisation, but its clients operate across the globe. So we need to work with other banks as well as technology firms, and embrace fintech. Fintech can help add on some of the value-added services, but you cannot go away from the high-quality, high-powered machinery that the major tech firms bring to us.
Steve, Rob, this has been great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
And thank you for watching.